Hi, welcome to my channel Stars of Terra. Every story you hear here is told in my own real voice, real emotion, real effort, no reuse content, original human storytelling. So let's begin. The coordinates were wrong. That was the first conclusion the Carthan scouts reached. Sector 912 was catalogued as a dead zone, a stretch of vacuum between spiral arms where no star burned and no signal traveled. Their long-range sensors showed nothing but background radiation and drifting dust. That was why the Carthan High Command chose it as a staging ground for their invasion fleet. No witnesses, no resistance, no surprises, thousands of warships translated into real space in perfect formation, their hulls shimmering like blades drawn from darkness. Admiral Vaylor watched from the command deck of the dreadnought Arathis, confident. And unchallenged, Earth was 3 jumps away, primitive and fractured, barely spacefaring by galactic standards. The invasion would be swift, decisive, and remembered as a demonstration of Carthan superiority. Then the sensors began to scream. At first it was dismissed as interference, a glitch caused by mass arrival distortions, but the readings stabilized. There was something in the dead zone, something enormous. It did not radiate like a star, nor drift like debris. It simply existed, perfectly still, perfectly silent. Vaylor leaned forward as the main display sharpened resolution. What emerged from the darkness was not a fleet, not a station, not a natural phenomenon. It was a ship. And it was larger than the combined mass of the Carthan vanguard. The superstructure stretched for hundreds of kilometers, layered in armored plating that absorbed light rather than reflected it. No running lights blinked along its surface. No visible engines flared. It was as if the void itself had taken shape. Shock rippled across the bridge. Impossible. One officer whispered. The sector was supposed to be empty. Nothing was supposed to be there. Yet something had been waiting. The alien vessel did not power weapons, did not deploy fighters, did not even adjust position. It simply rotated, slowly, deliberately, bringing its forward array to face the Carthan fleet. Then a signal pulsed across every frequency. It was clean, mathematically elegant, unmistakably artificial. Translation algorithms scrambled to decode it. Within seconds, the bridge speakers emitted a voice, calm and unhurried. This is Earth defense. Supercarrier Resolute, you are trespassing in restricted space. The words were delivered in precise galactic standard. Admiral Vaylor's mandibles tightened. Earth did not possess such engineering capability. Intelligence reports described divided nations, outdated propulsion systems, experimental fusion drives at best. Nothing remotely approaching this scale. Identify yourselves, Vaylor demanded, forcing authority into his tone. The reply came. Instantly, we are humanity. You were not invited. The Carthan tactical grid lit up as scans penetrated deeper into the supercarrier's hull, layer upon layer of composite armor, energy matrices beyond known yield tolerances. Weapon ports sealed but numerous beyond counting, and at its core, a power signature rivaling a small star. Vaylor felt something unfamiliar coil in his thoughts. Uncertainty. How long has it been there? He asked quietly. A science officer responded, voice trembling. Admiral, isotopic decay suggests. Decades, humanity had placed a warship in a dead sector decades ago, unseen, unmoving, waiting for what? For someone to gather an invasion fleet in what they assumed was an empty void. A realization began to dawn across the bridge. This was not coincidence. This was preparation. Without warning, the darkness around the supercarrier fractured. Space rippled outward like water struck by a stone. From hidden apertures along its hull, structures unfolded, massive arrays extended like the wings of some mechanical leviathan. Energy cascaded across their surfaces, forming luminous patterns that bent gravity itself. The Carthan fleet attempted to reposition, but their navigation systems faltered. Local space-time constants were shifting. Jamming fields detected. Tactical reported. No, Admiral, the science officer corrected. Horror evident, they are rewriting the battlefield. The supercarrier's voice returned, still calm, still measured. You selected this sector for strategic isolation. We selected it for the same reason. Then the first Carthan destroyer vanished, not exploded, not shattered, vanished. Its mass translated into raw particles as a focused beam lanced across the void. Silent and absolute, panic erupted across fleet channels. Return fire filled the darkness with streaks of plasma and antimatter. Every impact struck an invisible barrier meters from the supercarrier's hull. The barrier shimmered once and held. More Carthan vessels disappeared in controlled bursts of annihilation. Precision, not chaos, a demonstration, not a massacre. Admiral Vaylor understood then. This was not merely a defensive platform. It was a message. Earth had known someone would come, and Earth had prepared something no one expected, as half the Carthan Vanguard lay reduced to drifting atoms. The supercarrier ceased fire. Silence swallowed the battlefield once more. Then the signal widened, broadcasting beyond the fleet, beyond the sector, into neighboring systems. This transmission is directed to the Galactic Council and all observing powers, the human voice declared. For centuries you catalogued Earth as divided, unstable, technologically inferior. You were correct. A pause lingered, deliberate. And sharp, we were all those things, but you mistook noise for weakness. Images flooded open channels, schematics of the supercarrier. Records of asteroid mining networks, unified defense treaties, decades of quiet collaboration beneath political theatrics. While you debated our status, the voice continued. We prepared for the worst. The message was not triumphant. Not arrogant, it was resolute. Let this serve as clarification. Earth does not seek war, but we will not be erased. Across Carthan command channels, retreat orders began transmitting. For the first time in recorded expansion history, the Carthan Empire withdrew without conquest. And every watching civilization understood a new equation had entered galactic balance. Humanity had been underestimated. That error would not be repeated. As the last Carthan vessels jumped to hyperspace, the supercarrier remained, motionless once more. Its vast arrays retracted, its gravitational distortions settled. Silence returned to Sector 912. On Earth, deep beneath oceans and mountains, celebrations were restrained, controlled, almost quiet. This had never been about glory, it had been about survival. The supercarrier Resolute was only one of three. The others waited in separate dead zones across the galaxy. Unseen and undetected, humanity had learned from its own violent history. Peace was treasured, but only when protected. In hidden shipyards orbiting distant dwarf stars, construction continued. New hulls formed in silence, new power cores ignited. In secret, Earth would not threaten, Earth would not conquer, but Earth would never again be caught unprepared, far beyond mapped space. Long-range sensors aboard Resolute detected faint distortions, not Carthan, not Council, something older, something larger, moving between galaxies. The bridge lights dimmed as analysis routines began. The void was never truly empty, nothing was supposed to be there, and yet something always was. This time, however, it would not find humanity waiting in fear. It would find humanity ready. Days after the Carthan retreat, Sector 912 remained under silent watch, the supercarrier Resolute drifted in calculated stillness. Its vast hull absorbing starlight as if it were only another shadow in the void. On the bridge, analysts studied the faint distortions detected beyond mapped space. The pattern repeated at precise intervals, too deliberate to be natural, too distant to fully resolve. It was not a fleet, not a weapon signature, not anything recorded in Council archives. It was older, older than the Carthan Empire, older than the Council itself, a ripple moving between galaxies, bending gravity in slow, patient waves. Humanity had prepared for invasion, humanity had prepared for conquest, but this felt different. A transmission was drafted but not sent. Earth would not announce fear to the stars. Instead, construction orders were quietly expanded, shipyards accelerated production, deep space listening arrays were widened. And the other two supercarriers shifted subtly within their hidden sectors. If something ancient was moving in the dark, it would find a civilization no longer naive, no longer divided, no longer unguarded. Nothing was supposed to be there, but if something was coming, humanity would be waiting.